everyone and friends. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know this is not working. So let's get open for business and let's wake up the football god. Wake up there, guys. Wake up. Man, I'm excited as can be because today, y'all, it's Saturday. It's the weekend. The Cowboy players have the weekend off. Come Monday, they will be back in the house for phase 3 of OTAs, which will be great because this is now it's not just virtual reality meetings like they were having before. They will actually be able to meet in person as well as have practice. Not a game now, we're talking about practice. And they can have up to 10 practices. Mike McCarthy's got them scheduled for 9. But today it's going to be cool because in about 3 hours or so, we're going to be heading over to the CSA show. Unfortunately, there is no autograph signings going on today, but we will see our buddy Rashid.
What? Why did we get a wide receiver? Why did we get a wide receiver? Don't tell me. Are you? Why did we get a wide receiver?
Oh, they got your. Oh, damn, he a dog though.
Oh shit, he is a dog.
But wide receiver.
That's a good pick though.
We kid because we love, okay? But no, we'll be over at the CSA show, of course, looking at some merchandise and things like that. Just being able to get out in public and do some things again. You know, it's still limited to 1,000 people for the event and things. I don't think they'll get to 1,000 without people there for getting autographs and stuff. But it'll still be nice to go through and see some more merchandise and things and just kind of get a feel for football. The good news is come July, they'll be doing another show. They always have 2 in the summer and 1 in the fall. And maybe that one they will actually have guys that are actually there doing signatures. So keep your fingers crossed. I'm hoping that that'll be the case and we'll be able to get some of these football gods autographed. So, you know, it's just kind of the lull before the storm. But I wanted to go through because I'm wondering, has there ever been so much hype for a 6th-round draft pick? I mean, let's be clear. Quinton Bohannon is the biggest defensive lineman in the Dallas Cowboys history. Seriously. We've not drafted anybody any bigger than he is. He's a 6th-round draft pick. But I don't remember too many 6th-round draft picks that have had their own press conferences. I don't. We've already put a lot onto the big guy's shoulders. Now, that's not to say that the big guy can't hold a lot on his shoulders, but we've actually kind of looked at this defense and said, this guy's going to be a game changer. And the thing you have to wonder is, are we putting too much into a rookie? I mean, our defense, let's face it, our defense is terrible. Our defense over the course of the last several years has not been able to stop the run. The Dallas Cowboys, for the most part, have looked at the defensive line as kind of an afterthought. We love our linebackers. We love our cornerbacks and things. But between safety and defensive line, it's always an afterthought. They do love the defensive ends. They do best time with those guys like the Tacos, the D-Laws, and, of course, the Randy Gregory's. That's where we put our capital. We don't put it in with defensive linemen. We kind of say, well, he's a big guy, so he's a defensive lineman. And we look around and we think about the guys we've had kind of in the middle. Tyrone Crawford is really kind of a tackle defensive end, but played a lot of, as they said, dirty work playing tackle. He was really kind of a tweener. He was really too big as a defensive end and slow, but not big enough for tackle. He was kind of in between the two roles. He's kind of like a jack of all trades, but you're not really a master of none. And then we had guys like Malik Collins and Woods, that were defensive tackles that they would put in the middle as well. And when you look at, they weren't bad. They were more of a rotational player that we were deeming a guy that we need to play on a regular. They didn't do bad, but they weren't exactly outstanding. You know, they're all right around 300 pounds and things, a little bit athletic, but not a hold up the middle type guy. So now the Cowboys draft Quinton Bohannon, who, of course, his draft profile says 327. I've seen as much as them say 360, but when I've watched actually the film of him in practice, it looks like he's trimmed down a bit. He actually looks like he can move a little faster. But make no mistake about it, this defense is going from being, how should I say, soft, to I think we're going to try and bludgeon people to death. Seriously. I love Dan Quinn actually a little bit more now than I did before, because I understand him now. Understanding that Dan Quinn is 5'11", okay, 5'11", went to a Division III school, Davidson, and played nose guard. I didn't realize he played nose guard. This is key, okay, because that's me, 5'11". I went to JMU, which was Division I AA. You know, stepped down from Division A football. I don't think they call it Division I AA anymore. Of course, they call it FBS. But, you know, and they also call guys nose tackles instead of nose guards. But you have a different perspective being a nose guard because you are a pinball. You're a pinball. You get hit not only by the guy who's 6 inches in front of your face. You know, defensive tackle is further away from the offensive tackle because when you line up, you've got the center who's right here on the ball. That's the neutral zone. So you've got that space that you can't enter. The nose guard is creeped all the way up to that nose of that football. He's literally this far away from the center's head. Every play. Your tackles, because now your guards, their helmet has to be inside of the belt buckle of the center. So he's back off the ball a little bit. The tackle, his helmet, has got to be outside of the belt buckle. So there's space between the defensive tackle and the offensive tackle, you know, about this much. Nose tackle, there's this much space. And as a nose tackle, you get hit by the center. You get hit by the center and the guard. You get hit by the center and the guard. You get hit, chipped, cut block. You get hit by a fullback. You get hit by a tight end. And your job is not to make tackles. It's not to make sacks. If you get them, your job is to hold that ground, to make them not come in your neighborhood, to make sure the linebackers aren't getting hit. There's not a lot of skill involved. No, I'm wrong on that. There is a lot of skill because you've got to be the low man. You've got to be able to understand how to fight pressure. You got to understand how to be able to drop the anchor and split the double team. You've got to know how to do a jab, step, and rip. You got to read the directions of the plays. And you have to take on two guys, 2-to-1. So there is a lot of skill to it. And see, Dan Quinn being a nose guard understands the importance of that because, see, most guys will talk about cornerbacks. Oh, man, look at Dion. Look at primetime. Primetime ain't primetime if a quarterback's got 8-10 seconds to throw the football. I don't care. You can't hold a guy for that long. The linebackers, the Brian Urlachers, aren't the Brian Urlachers without that defensive line keeping those offensive guards up there to that next level, knocking the crap out of them. They don't get any love. They don't get any respect. And they don't get a whole lot of fans that are cheering them on. It's a thankless job. It's like being up on that wall. Without that guy up on that wall, our defense is shot. So now, here's the question. How much can we expect from Quinton Bohannon? If we look here at his draft profile, okay, again, 6'4", 34-inch arms, 10.78 hands. He's got big hands. His draft prospect grade was a 5.88, and as you can see down here, they say backup and special teamer. Backup and special teamer. Just saying, not a starter. A depth guy. I think he'll be a difference changer for the team. I think being young, strong, and big, and being the focal point, and having a teaching coach like a Dan Quinn who understands the position because he played the position, and knowing that Dan Quinn, probably like me, was undersized at that position. And when you're undersized, your technique is everything. And so I believe that Dan Quinn will make Quinton Bohannon a tactician in the middle. He's got the size. He's got the strength. He's actually got the body for it and actually the athletic ability. We'll see how well the Cowboys can put it all together, and I'm hoping that they do. So that's all I have for you guys this morning. It's going to be a quiet weekend as far as Dallas Cowboys news. Unfortunately, I'm beginning to hear the hum outside of the cicadas. It's been warm the last couple of days. They're coming out. They're making a whole bunch of noise, so there's that. But in the meantime, there's no hum here.
Our folks here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Sports Report.